Oh no, I was gonna say I do have one thing we could talk about. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's actually more it's more Daredevil stuff, but it's I think it's very interesting. So I know we've talked about my time to shine. Hello, like the scooper, I guess.
The
Like
scooper.
she's always out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she put out a tweet yesterday about the things that they overhauled or changed in Daredevil, like during that whole creative thing. I thought it might be really interesting to talk about it. I'll hold on, I'll put it up real quick as I read it here so you guys can see. But it might give you a different take on how this show's gonna go or what it could have been.
I forgot this was originally supposed to be 18 episodes and all that
right.
shit.
So all right, so here's the tweet that she put this out yesterday. So here's everything that was changed in Daredevil Born Again when the new showrunner took over, right? So episode 1 to 6 were mostly kept intact and were shifted to become episode 2 and 7 instead, right? So that first episode didn't exist. Huh. And this is something I thought about too, because I thought Vanessa was recasted. So all of Vanessa's scenes were reshot to bring back Alette Zurer, I guess, who's the original actress from the Netflix stuff. So I remember they recasted her originally, and then that kind of just disappeared. I was surprised to see her because I thought they recasted her. And then White Tiger's death scene was reshot to make it clear he was killed by a dirty cop wearing the Punisher symbol. In the original version, he was also killed by a dirty cop, but the symbol wasn't visible on his clothes, and it only became clear in the following episode, right? So you would have just saw him die, you wouldn't have even known it was a Punisher thing, right?
Huh.
This is where it gets kind of crazy, because I feel like if they would have done this, they would have gotten fucking wrecked.
They would have got rolled, yeah.
The off-screen death of Foggy, off-screen, you would never have seen it, originally killed by a dirty cop, not Bullseye, was removed. Instead, the new pilot episode was created, extending and altering Foggy's death, now at the hands of Bullseye, which, great bringing Bullseye back in, I thought. You have the connection to the Netflix show. With the new pilot, they also added more of a background on Matt meeting Heather Glenn, which I think is the therapist, and Fisk running for mayor. So apparently, when this show was going to start, Fisk was already mayor. Right, you didn't get the whole lead up to him becoming mayor. You didn't get that whole conversation with Fisk and Matt in the diner. Yeah, dude. Dude. Imagine that. Imagine this whole show just starting from episode 2 without that whole scene and just Fisk being mayor.
I would have been good with that.
I mean,
you would have been okay with that.
I would have been okay with that.
I don't without that whole conversation though and stuff. I don't know. And then, so Karen was added back into the story. They didn't even mention her in the original version of this show. So it's like she wasn't even a thing.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so Bullseye wasn't in the original version of the show. And they also made a new episode 8 and a new episode 9 season finale, which I guess for some reason a lot of people think or have seen it and know that those are the 2 best episodes of the series or the season. So... interesting overhaul, because I don't know, it sounds like they just shifted things over and added and took away a few things. I don't know if I'd call that a major overhaul. I don't know what you guys thought of that, but I thought it was very interesting.
I just know that these motherfucking scoopers better be careful, because they're handing out lawsuits like a motherfucker.
I know, and listen,
don't play with that shit.
Obviously, they're scoopers. Listen, this person's got things wrong. All scoopers do get things wrong, so take it with a grain of salt. But I thought it was very interesting, because if I were to get that show, I probably wouldn't feel great.
Yeah.
Well,
without that first episode, imagine without that first episode and you started with episode 2.
I would have been okay.
What?
No
Bullseye scene, no fight scene.
Without that Bullseye fight scene on the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
If that episode was something different, there was no action, and we still haven't seen Matt in the suit and all this stuff, I don't know if I'd be okay with the show right now.
I feel like they did that because they knew if they didn't. I feel like it's a pacing thing. I feel like they probably overhauled it because they were like, if we do a lot of buildup, people are going to get bored by episode 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, they're just going to be completely taken out of it if they don't start to see Daredevil doing action.
That's why I think firing like they did.
But again, that goes to Wendell's point. He would have been okay with that because he's seen Daredevil and watched the original series and is into it. So he would have been fine with that. But the casual person watching this would have been like, oh, Disney sucks again. Marvel sucks. There's no fucking Daredevil in the suit. There's no, like, okay, I get it, bro. Like, that's fine.
And you see how people are nitpicking now, saying that it's boring. Imagine if they did that, they would have been completely taken out of it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it would have been. It's no, it's the like Abel said, like we always say. Everybody here says it. It's this fucking lack of patience and build, and I need to click
wanting
now.
the discourse.
I need to click now.
Right.
That's all it is. Put the freaking most raunchiest headline, and you'll get views.
Yep. Crazy.
That's all it
I
is.
don't know. Thought that was very interesting. But
I
guess
think the show is gonna really be good by the end. I think this is gonna be one of the. We have these shows all the time with Marvel where you like go back and you're like, if I went back and binge, like rarely do you ever get an X-Men 97 where you're like, damn, episode 5 was fired, damn, episode 7 was fired, damn, episode 8 was fired. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't happen. You end up going back and saying, okay, episode 3 and 4 were builder, and then I got a good episode 6, and then the finale was good, but the other episodes are kind of filler. But then if I go back and watch the whole thing again, you're like, oh damn, actually, you know what? Those filler episodes really weren't that bad. Like they were okay.
It explained a lot.
Like it explained a lot of shit. If I just got the action, I would have been like, well, that was cool, but what did it mean? There's no context behind it. Like it meant nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Listen,
I came across an interesting take though. All my little scroll times. What if Foggy isn't dead?
Foggy's not dead.
First of all, Foggy ain't dead.
Yeah, he's not dead.
No?
So,
What was it on
Daredevil 468.
I was just about to say on one of the signs across the street, literally they had the number 468.
Right. No, it's 468 is Foggy's address in the show.
But I think they had it on the sign. They had it somewhere in that episode where they showed the number.
The 468, and then they were saying that that's a reference to issue 468.
Right. I'm not going to say I know the story. I just know.
Yeah,
I know that issue is the story, right?
So what you're saying is
he takes some medicine, stops his heart, like so everything happens the way it happened. Matt hears his heart stop.
That was gonna be my question: is how did Daredevil hear his heart stop?
He took something to have his heart stop.
Yep.
So what you're saying,
he knew Daredevil would hear it.
So what you're saying is the power of plot is going to bring him back.
Yeah,
it's called plot armor.
The plot device is going to bring him back.
The motherfucker took one dead center. Center mask.
The power of friendship.
Fuck that. Listen, there is consequences in Marvel. He's dead. That's it.
It was Bullseye. Bullseye does not have to hit you dead center.
Bullseye doesn't miss.
He kind of doesn't. I was gonna say Bullseye don't miss.
But also, Bullseye doesn't miss. But Bullseye doesn't miss. So think about that.
Dead center wasn't the target.
Think about that. Bullseye doesn't miss, but Bullseye doesn't miss.
Is this all a setup? Is Foggy the bad guy? I'm in.
Maybe.
I'm locked in for. I'm in for anybody turning heel this year.
Somebody is going to somebody
turning heel this year.
Everybody turning heel.
I'm turning heel by year end.
Let me tell you something. If they bring Foggy back, you better come out with some Nigel Sylvester 4s on, just like my boy did, and start whooping somebody.